You wouldn't let everyone use your toothbrush. Why would you let them use you?
Blast off to the first annual Hooked on Missions Bass Tournament at TVA's Teleco Loudon Canal, September the 13th from 6 a.m. to 3 p.m. All to benefit youth missions opportunities all over the world. Registration is $85 in advance, $95 the day up, with payouts going to the top 10 anglers and prize giveaways from Dick's Sporting Goods. The first annual Hooked on Missions Bass Tournament, brought to you by Parkway Baptist Church, WVLT TV, Dick's Sporting Goods, and these sponsors.
When you hear about sports injuries, one of the last things you think of are injuries to your mouth. We'll talk about those injuries and the importance of early detection in this week's Dental 60, brought to you by KnoxvilleSmiles.com.
Injuries to the mouth aren't as common as other injuries in sports, but it's really important, and early intervention is really important because it helps later on.
Not as common and sometimes not as easily detected.
Well, most people have never experienced a true mouth injury that they recognized on the spot, and sometimes it takes a while for those things to show up. Most of the stuff I see are things that weren't treated, like joint injuries and missing teeth that are a lifetime of dentistry that could have been avoided if it was treated early.
So if you think you have a dental injury, when is the right time to look to a professional for help?
If it's questionable, go see the dentist. The dentist can look at it, make sure that teeth aren't broken, make sure that there's not any serious injuries, and follow it and make sure that something's not coming up that would be important.
For more information on this week's D60, visit us online at KnoxvilleSmiles.com.
Boogie Down Baby, Saturday, September 26th from 11 a.m. to 2 p.m. at Carrabba's Italian Grill. Knoxville's Family Dance Party invites you to shake your groove theme with a portion of proceeds to benefit Celiac, a support group for people with gluten intolerance. Come as a family or plan your next special event. Our birthday parties rock. Boogie Down Baby, September 26th at 11 a.m. at Carrabba's Italian Grill on Peters Road. Log on to letsboogiedownbaby.com for dance party details.
Let Dream Ponds and Pools turn your dream into reality with amazing ponds and custom in-ground pools, beautiful waterfalls, rock formations, swim-in caves, you name it, Dream Ponds and Pools can do it, and at very affordable prices, $789-$4284.
Climbing up tall ladders and decorating the house for Christmas, that can be a safety concern. We'll talk about that in this week's Men's Wellness Minute.
The Men's Wellness Minute is brought to you by Park West Medical Center. Treated well, well treated. You'd be surprised at how many men are taken to the emergency room after falling off of ladders decorating houses for the holidays.
Plan ahead, think your project through, know what you're going to do, get your equipment all together, and get some help. That's the best thing.
As for the ladder itself, know how to work it.
Know the capabilities of the ladder. Be sure that the base of the ladder is secured. Be sure it's not on a slippery surface. Be sure it's anchored. Have someone hold the end of it for you.
Here's my question. Why is it that Santa Claus has never fallen off a ladder or a roof?
I think he's got rubber cleats on his shoes. I have never seen the bottom of those slippers he wears.
For more on the Men's Wellness Minute, visit us online at treatedwell.com or give us a call at 374-PARK.
Are you having a hard time counting these guys at night? We're talking about insomnia in this week's Men's Wellness Minute.
The Men's Wellness Minute is brought to you by Park West Medical Center. Treated well, well treated. Insomnia is a sleep disorder that can be caused by a number of things.
It can be related to too much on your mind, to being stressed out. It can be related to not having enough sleep, not getting enough sleep, going to bed too late, getting up too early. Sometimes it can be related to other things, medications.
A lot of us, when we can't sleep late at night, we'll get up and watch television or get on the computer.
That's one of the worst things you could do, because first of all, you're turning on the lights in the house, and so the bright lights are going to tell your brain that it's time to wake up. And the electromagnetic field from the television set or the computer set is also going to tell your brain that it's time to wake up. So that's actually an alerting signal.
For more on the Men's Wellness Minute, visit us online at treatedwell.com or call us at 374-PARK.
Put your hand in
We just decided to start a church here led by God to see those people who are far from God be awakened to life.
Turn your Bibles in Matthew chapter 22.
The Rich Community Church couldn't have come at a better time. Pastor Bobby Williams says as the economy died, the congregation grew.
I think that a lot of people will turn to God and spirituality in church when the economy seems to go bad.
Like many people, church members were losing jobs and losing hope.
We've had people say things to the manner of, I don't know how I'm going to get through this, but I know that on the other side of this, that God's going to get greater glory.
As a graphic designer for a real estate agency, when the housing market took a hit, Melissa Hill was laid off. Her daughter was just 3 months old.
I've come through times in my life where I've seen God help me before.
So she turned to him again as her family began making tough sacrifices.
It's not a guarantee that you're going to have an easy life just because you believe in God, but He still is good. Even in the hard times, He still gives me hope.
Melissa can't find work, but stays positive because she gets to spend time with her daughter.
You know, even at your poorest or lowest moment, you're still blessed.
Sometimes God will allow us to get to our very lowest point only so He can bring us back up.
Which is what Pastor Williams preaches each Sunday. Allison Croft, WVLT Volunteer, TV News.
They turn around and put signs, yard sale signs, and politics signs, different signs up. I'll jerk them down. I'll leave that one. We need to find her. She's been gone too long.
Alvin Kilgore never met Megan Maxwell, but he is praying for her safe return. She vanished 16 months ago.
Some days I'm pretty much, feel she's gone, and other days I hold on to that hope.
Her mother, Lisa, works tirelessly to find Megan. She helped organize today's rally, which is meant to bring the case back into the public eye.
A lot of times we hear that when people drop from the media that, we thought that person was found, and in fact that's not true.
Monica Kaysen founded Q, Community United Effort, a group that travels across the country helping solve missing person cases. Q rolled into Newport this afternoon to circle around the Maxwell family.
Sometimes feel like I have let, Megan down because I can't seem to find her.
We're really here to honor Megan today. We really hope that this community, is reminded that she is missing, and, while they're out boating, while they're out walking, and even walking their dog or what have you, keep an eye out. She's got to be around here somewhere.
Lisa Maxwell appreciates any and all attention her daughter's case receives, because more than a year later, hope dwindles.
You can't grieve. There's got to be a word for it. I don't know what it is.
Perhaps it could be your tip that leads investigators to Megan and give Kilgore the go-ahead to tear down this sign too.
That I was the fourth guy in the history of Major League Baseball to go undefeated with 10 or more wins.
If you were a fan of the New York Yankees during the 2005 season, there's a good possibility you remember the name Aaron Small. Mostly known for his dominance on the diamond, he put up some impressive stats over his career. But for Aaron, there was something missing.
It was almost like I was starting to lose the passion for the game. I just knew that God was calling me to come home.
As for home, the former Yankees pitcher can be found in Loudon, Tennessee.
We're going to take the circle to the ground on the release, okay?
But his days of baseball are far from over.
There you go. Good. It started out with about 3 kids a week. That ballooned up to about 15, 16 kids in about 3 or 4 weeks. Within 2 months, I was working with 25, 30 kids a week. Oh, see that? That's when the lefty does this right here. Got the crazy idea to build this building, which I call the baseball barn. It's built on an old dairy farm. Start doing lessons.
Nowadays, this former All-Star is called Coach. But that's not all that's new with Aaron's life here in East Tennessee. Instead of taking calls from his coaches and catchers, he looks for signs from a higher power.
If you read a lot of Paul's writings, he talks a lot about life and running a race. Got a call from a church at Fairview Baptist Tabernacle Church in Sweetwater, and they asked us to pray about being their youth directors.
Which is just the direction Aaron says he was looking for as he walked off the mound and away from the major league dream he'd always dreamt of.
It's amazing looking back how I've gone from the New York Yankees to pitching lessons in the baseball barn and working with youth at a church. It's amazing how God has laid that out in my life. This truly is home, and I love it here.
When I seen them pulling through the window, I thought, thank God.
Long before Michael Chesney shot Officer Brandon Stryker in the chest, dozens of East Tennesseans were working to make sure it wouldn't kill him.
We do soft body armor here.
PACA has proudly been making concealed and tactical vests since 1975.
This is standard wear for our guys.
And Knoxville police are among those who wear their gear.
They protect you from most of the common handgun rounds that we see.
Lieutenant Jeff Stiles says that while nothing can be bulletproof, they are bullet resistant.
We've witnessed just this past few days. It certainly does help, and it saves lives.
At PACA, employees take pride in hearing these stories. At least once or twice a month, they add to the Saved bulletin board.
A lot of times we'll get an email or a phone call, and one of the family members, maybe a wife, will call in and say, because of what you do, my husband was able to come home last night.
This particular customer, we have to put barcodes on.
Longtime employee Jean Braden says she knows that this was the case for Brandon Stryker, and that's why she comes to work every day.
This means the world to us when we have a save and we know that what we did here helped save someone's life.
It's probably going to be my last concert for a while.
For years, you may remember Love 89 radio DJs, Mike, Chris, and Marissa in the morning.
It's 7:41 in the morning now.
It was an early morning wake-up call of entertainment and inspiration.
I guess, I'm moving away, and, this is it.
That is until Mike answered the request line for a call from a higher power.
That was the hardest decision for me to ever make, was to leave there.
This is Guatemala, a country rich in history, culture, and architecture, but also filled with poverty and economic depression. Of its 13 million people, nearly 200,000 children also call its streets home.
We came down a few years ago to basically help out a friend that was in need. We came to an orphanage and just kind of fell in love with the country, and over a 5-year period started bringing teams down, and then ultimately God just said, we want you to live there.
Mike and his family traded in the rolling hills of East Tennessee for the mountain ranges of Central America.
Enjoy the music, enjoy the fun. In just a little bit, we're going to have an awesome drama for you.
By organizing vacation Bible schools and taking inflatables and carnival games into rural villages, their clubhouse ministries are able to reach out to these same children. They're praying their efforts will give a generation of children the hope that would break the cycle of poverty and ignorance.
Every village you go into, people just love to see Americans because they know that while we're here to share the gospel, we're here to give them hope.
A message of hope that's not only touching the communities in which it's being delivered, but blessing its messengers as well.
When you go into these villages and you go into these homes, which are basically made up of metal shacks and dirt floors, people are happier than you would ever see at home. It's really hard to explain where that happiness comes from because we're so used to happiness coming from an Xbox or coming from a nice car or all the different things we can have.
Life lessons learned by tuning in, listening, and taking giant steps of faith.
In June, when we first made the move, we really didn't want to come. But the way God has showed up, we have no regrets, and we know this is home.